Welcome everybody to another episode of Inse Miliye, the Insurance Institute of India's YouTube channel. I am Dr. George Thomas over here. I am professor in Insurance Institute of India. We have with us a VIP to be interviewed today, Mr. K. Srinivasan. Srinivasan sir is a well-known name in the insurance industry and is most remembered for the three roles which were the most recent ones he was in, as member IRDA, member non-life. He was the secretary of Tariff Advisory Committee, and before that he was general manager of New India Insurance Company. And he has been part of IUMI, IAIS, and many international organizations, many international platforms he has been on. So, sir, we are very happy to have you here with us today to talk to the insurance professionals from this Inse Miliye platform. Sir, with your vast experience, what would you like to share with us that is about the Indian insurance industry, how it is looking like today?
Yeah. Good morning, George. Nice seeing your face and having a face-to-face talk with you. Well, the insurance industry in this difficult times, I'm talking about the Indian insurance industry, seems to have been fairly stable during this difficult time. It's been showing a reasonably stable growth, and in my view, it is poised for great heights in the years to come. And particularly, the one line which I see growing very nicely is the healthcare sector. I mean, the health insurance sector. So I see a great potential, and the initiatives that the IRDA and the government are taking, like in the recent budget, you have seen that the FDI limit has been enhanced to 74%. The Honorable Finance Minister has also made a statement about the privatization of one of the non-life insurance companies. These are all great beginnings, and I think that the market is poised for great changes in the months to come.
Sir, thank you for that general remarks of how things are moving, and then you touched upon an interesting point about the health insurance. We are passing through one span in time which we have not seen hitherto. That is the COVID pandemic situation, and along with that we are seeing digital disruptions. FDI you talked about, but then there are a lot of changes which are happening in the insurance industry. What would be your suggestion? How do we respond to these kind of changes?
You see, I would say that the insurance industry in India has always been very dynamic in the sense that it knows how to adjust itself very well. I remember the days where we worked together in the TAC. Suddenly, when the 9/11 took place, what happened was the world withdrew the terrorism cover, and then we didn't blink for a moment. We just started our own terrorism pool, and it's still going strong. We built our own capacity. So the insurance industry in India is a very, very stable industry. It's a very, very adaptive industry. It knows how to adapt to challenges. For example, we moved away from the tariff market to a non-tariff market, with which I must say with a fair amount of stability. We used the tariff as the benchmark rates below which the insurance companies couldn't go, and coupled with the Section 64 VB, which ensured that the cash is coming in, the market successfully survived the transition from tariff to de-tariffing, and now we have introduced the benchmark rates in another form through the IIB.
Yes.
So that
The GA Council. Yes.
yes. So the market is a very adaptive, and I'm an optimist when it comes to our insurance market. Is one of the most stable insurance markets in the world. We have not seen collapses in this market.
Sir, people like you were in the regulator's office, so you were well guarding and protecting the insurance industry, and that same culture continues. So we have issued very proactive the kind of regulations, especially in the COVID times. So that is all. I understand that all these kind of things have cumulatively supported the insurance industry. Yes, sir. Let me ask you from another perspective. After you left IRDA, you have been living a very active life, which is not connected with insurance directly. You have been connected with the stock exchanges, connected with arbitration, with customer grievances. I think you were mentoring an air ambulance initiative also. So these are things which are new things in the market. It opens new dimensions. What do you want to tell from your experiences in outside the insurance industry to people in the insurance industry?
Oh yeah, I think that I would like to, just to make a small little correction. I still stay connected with the insurance industry, number one.
Of course, yes.
Because very often, whenever I feel that there is something to be communicated to the insurance industry, I do it by sending a text message to Dr. Kuntia, whom I know because he basically is from the Karnataka cadre and he is a Bangalorean. So I know him a little bit before he took over charge of IRDA. And he is such a wonderful person that the moment I text a message, he acknowledges and he thanks me and he said, let me see what I can do. So, but then beyond that, I cannot go into that aspect, but I'm telling you, I'm still very much in touch. And the persons in the regulatory authority still do seem to value my suggestions to them in their own quiet way, but I'm doing it very quietly. The world doesn't need to know, loudly what I'm doing. Okay. Now coming to the other things, I wanted to do something different when I stepped down from the IRDA. The first interesting assignment I had was with the World Bank. What is World Bank? For starting, in Karnataka, in collaboration with the Swarna Arogya Suraksha Trust, which is a trust which is implementing the government schemes in Karnataka, we wanted a response within the what is called as the critical 2 hours for emergency treatment to road accident victims in Karnataka. And I must say that they have implemented it quite successfully. They also tried with what is called as a two-wheeler immediate response, ambulances. In the sense, they would go and render first aid service. Sooner the ambulances will come and take it to the hospitals. And the linked hospitals were assured that if up to some 25,000 rupees or so, whatever was needed to stabilize the patients in the golden hours is done. And it seems to have gone very well in Karnataka. I was in the monitoring committee for some time. Once it stabilized, I moved away, but I'm sure that's doing well. That was one of the first things which I did. Then, and we had to start with some provisional regulations.
Okay.
Under the approval of the Government of India. Okay, DG Aviation, that is. And 2015, with their help, with our help, and with inputs from others, the DG, Director General of Civil Aviation, was able to bring what is called as the air medical transport regulations for the first time in India.
Okay.
So we have now in our country air medical transport regulations. So that is the work which we were doing as pioneers. And part of the air medical regulations, you can credit it to what we did in collaboration with the DG, Director General of Civil Aviation. Extremely nice people, and you will be surprised that very often we say that the government is not responsive. No, in this case, the country didn't have to have anything. They had to start from zero, and then quickly they adopted and brought out some basic regulations which will help professionalization of air medical transport. And at the same time, you don't go into too much into nitty-gritty. For example, they had regulations relating to what kind of space you should have for keeping the stretcher, right? What kind of medical professional you should have in the helicopter or in the fixed wing aircraft. For example, if you are having a nurse there, you must be a qualified and certified nurse. Plus, in addition, he must have undergone a course in what is called as the aviation medicine. But then for India, starting an air ambulance service hence on its own without any funding from outside was itself a challenge. We ran it for 2-3 years, but because of the economic situation in the collaborators' country, they sort of after 2-3 years they had to withdraw their helicopters after 3 years. So then there was a lull. Now we are trying to revive it now. In between the pandemic came. So the pandemic, fortunately, is slowly probably on its way out. So I see a great future for that, and I'm very happy with the way I learned about another totally new industry in the process. So that's a takeaway for me, and it's very satisfying. You have to still work out what is called as a viable economic model for the air medical transport in India. Nobody has the answer to that. Even we don't have an answer to that, but I'm sure it will evolve. But there is a need for that service in this extremely populous country.
Sir, you were speaking about the customer side, the customer grievances side, as well as the Bombay, the stock exchange angles. Maybe you can add something on that.
You see, that's another very good learning experience. Over a period of time, I have heard now about it's in the conciliation process, which is still friendlier than the arbitration process. I must have heard close to 500, 600 cases now. One of the things which I found was senior citizens, pensioners, retired personnel trying to invest in the stock market or trading in the stock market. Investing is another thing, but trading in the stock market without taking some basic precautions and ending up losing their what is called as a life savings. That was the one which was bothering me and which continues to bother me. So once I wrote a small piece in the Insurance Institute journal saying that how do you protect your life savings by taking some little precautions, right? And these are all only procedural, right? You follow the processes and the process takes care of you. That's the way I have put it, instead of trying to give some tips and things like that. Plus, I also gave one small bit of suggestion, saying that please do not trade, number one, on borrowed money, right? Keep it to what you can. Number two, please know more about what is called as futures and options before you get into it, because futures and options are a zero-sum game. What you gain is what somebody loses. And what you lose is what somebody else gains. So it balances itself out. Either you have to be a loser or you have to be a gainer. And you actually fund each other. Right? Unlike the equity trading. So that's why I said, please, for heaven's sake, before getting into futures and options, know what your risks are. If you do not know, don't get into it. Number two, don't be very greedy. So what I told the people was very simple things. Follow the process. Don't be greedy. Don't get into futures and options unless you are very sure about what you are doing, right? And stay within limits.
So thank you for that input, because the insurance industry also would be having some kind of takeaways from what you said, about being careful and cautious about what you're doing. Sir, you have always had this great passion for academics, and you are well connected with the Insurance Institute of India. Could you give us a message, again, today's context, about the working and the functioning of III, and a message possibly to the III's members, associated institutes, as well as the employees?
When I told you about the adaptive nature of the insurance industry, it's equally true of the institutions which are there in the insurance industry. What is the IIA? What is your mode of operating now?
We work on the webinar model, yes.
You switched over from the physical form to online in double quick time.
Yes.
And you seem to be doing well.
Yes.
I'm sure when the things become normal once again, you are not going to give up these webinars, because I have found out in the last 12 months that there are a lot more advantages in this which I did not discover in the earlier physical world. This world is equally exciting. There are certain things which you can do very, very economically and very efficiently using this medium. And I'm enjoying it. And I'm sure that when this pandemic situation goes away, what you have learned in doing things through the electronic media, that will not be forgotten, and you will retain a part of it, and I'm sure you will retain a substantial part of it. That's what I would like to.
Yes. So thank you very much, sir. You have been very crisp and very pinpointed and accurate on what you were talking about the insurance industry in general, as well as your messages also. I am sure have got quite some value in the long term to come. People, now we are in a learning phase in many ways in the insurance industry, and your advices, what you gave us, would be definitely of
I
a
wouldn't
lot
call
of
them as advices. These are all suggestions.
It's quite modest of you to call them so. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your experiences and sharing your vision with us. And once again, have a great day. And as always, you have been a part of the insurance industry as well as of Insurance Institute of India. You have been a mentor and well-wisher for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thanks for this opportunity to speak to the world through you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.